As Amir Amanullah Khan took over as King of Afghanistan in 1919, Gandhiji arrived on the Indian political horizon in 1913 after his stint as a practicing barrister in South Africa, which itself was groaning under the heels of the oppressive minority white rule. Gandhiji's leadership attracted the best brains far and wide, and among his outstanding colleagues was Abdul Ghaffar Khan, also known as Badshah Khan from Pashtunistan. Along with his elder brother Dr. Khan Sahib, Badshah Khan rose to emerge as India's legendary figure, which earned him the sobriquet of Frontier Gandhi. Badshah Khan's ideology of non-violence originated from the teachings of the Quran, as he himself put it. Badshah Khan's struggle was twofold, directed not only against the British for the independence of India and Pashtun land, but a passion that made him spend at least 20 years in Pakistani jails. He died in 1988 at the age of 98 and was buried in his beloved Jalalabad in deference to his wishes. Rajiv Gandhi flew to Jalalabad to pay homage to the memory of the forefront leader of India's freedom movement. Raja Mahendra Pratap was among the first-generation graduates of Aligarh Muslim University. While in Afghanistan, Raja Mahendra Pratap wrote his memoirs of Afghanistan, titled Afghanistan, the Heart of Ariana. His affection to this land has been epitomized in his introduction to his memoirs. The land-bound island, the valleys full of fruits, mountains rich in mines, it is Afghanistan. Soil raises heavy crops, sparkling rivers flow along, climate is cool and healthy, it is all in Afghanistan. People are bold and sturdy, to play the host ever ready, can rely on them in any case. This is Afghanistan. Subhash Chandra Bose became a household name and a legend during his lifetime. His quest for freedom took him to Afghanistan disguised as a Pathan on the way to Europe. He got all the sympathy and support from his friends in Afghanistan in this great escape to enlist the support of European powers opposed to British hegemony. On the social and cultural planes too, one comes across a similar story. All India Radio had already opened a Pashto unit in 1939, but more concrete steps came only after India got freedom. Vice President Dr. Zakir Hussain laid the foundation stone of Indira Gandhi Hospital for Children in 1966, which now stands as a vibrant institution. Indian doctors specializing in treating children's diseases are posted on rotational basis to look after the OPD, as also to impart training to local internees in inpatient departments.
We've been here for almost 1 year now, and on reaching here we found things to be much better than we thought would be at Kabul. We are a team of 6 doctors at present, the surgeon, anesthetist, pediatrician and 2 general practitioners. The incidence of disease here in Afghanistan amongst children is almost at par with Indians in India, but the people of Afghanistan have a slight advantage of the weather condition because the weather is generally cool, humidity is low, so the infectious diseases are per se slightly lower than India. Otherwise, because of the scarcity of medical facilities, we definitely come across a higher incidence of disease. Initially, because in the middle of everything, the operations were stopped. We had to go back during the Taliban period. So now we are working on it. Things are improving. Equipment has been provided by the Indian government as well as the Afghan government is also trying to look after this hospital. But on an average, I would say it's still not adequate. Every day we are seeing about 350 to 400 patients, and all of them are the pediatric population, the children. Most of them come from the nearby areas, but some of them do come from far off places after knowing that we are running this polyclinic.
Since there is the biggest pediatric hospital in Afghanistan, it has got the load. It's a 300 plus bedded hospital, but almost the patient load is more than 150%. That is, per bed you get sometimes 2 patients, like that. And most of the load here the patient load what we get here is mainly infectious cases like CNS infection, chest infection, lung infection, or intestinal infections and all those. As far as the doctor training equipment wise and our role here is concerned, now we were basically to assist them in the working of the hospital. As such, the administration setup, everything is by their own. But in the supplying medicines and whatever clinic load and the patient in the ward that we are supposed to help. As a pediatrician, I am looking after some of the training program. I conduct classes for them in the morning because the doctors here somehow have been left behind because of the last few years of war. They have not received proper training and education.
This was followed in 1972 by the signing of Indo-Afghan Cultural Exchange Program, which paved the way for opening of a Pashto department at Jawaharlal Nehru University.
We have more than 15 students here. They are studying, they are learning Pashto language, Pashto literature, and Afghan and Pathan culture and society. And we submitted so many students for the Indian government for service and different ministry and different offices of the government. And also we have a good quality of students for the near future. We will send and they will work for the some necessary field which we have in Afghanistan and India. They can work in the same. They can introduce the Indian culture for Afghans and they can introduce the Afghan culture for Indians. This is the great achievement of this department.
Students from Afghanistan now come to India to pursue higher education in the field of medicine, engineering, humanities, and other disciplines. President Hamid Karzai of Afghanistan had his education in India and is a postgraduate alumnus of Himachal University. India's legendary Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore wrote a powerful story immortalizing the character of Kabuliwala. This was later filmed with Doyen Balraj Sahni playing the central role. The story veers round the pangs of separation of the Kabuliwala from his growing daughter and his subsequent return to his much beloved homeland. The film became an instant hit both in India and Afghanistan, where it was translated in both Pashto and Dari. The Kabuliwala proved to be a catalyst, which won popularity for other Hindi films. Indian superstars enjoy immense popularity among the film buffs there. The common man who understands or does not understand Hindi or Hindustani too loves the songs of Lata Mangeshkar, Mohammad Rafi and Mukesh.
हिंदी फिल्में भी चलते हैं, अंग्रेज़ी फिल्में भी चलते हैं, अफ़गानी फिल्में भी चलते हैं और ज़्यादा हिंदी फिल्में चलते हैं. उर्दू और फ़ारसी दोनों एक जैसी है और ये जो हमारा लोग हैं हिंदी बहुत पसंद करते हैं. हिंदी फिल्मों में बहुत रश इसलिए है कि इसके गाने भी अच्छे हैं, कहानी भी अच्छी है. थोड़ा समझ आता है, कुछ लोगों को थोड़ा समझ भी नहीं आता है, फिर भी हिंदी फिल्मों ये लोग बहुत देख सकते हैं. एक्टर्स अक्षय कुमार, सुनील शेट्टी, ये जो फिल्मों है सनी देओल, उससे लड़कों के फिल्म बहुत इधर चलते हैं और बाज़ार बहुत है. हीरोइन ये करिश्मा कपूर और दूसरा जो है फरहानाज, ये लोग बहुत अच्छा कायम है.
The moment you say Bharat, the moment you say India, they really react to you warmly. And this I have seen in all walks of life. Even officers in the government who would generally be cagey about talking to a total stranger merely because he says from India. But the moment the word India comes, The few days I have been here, I find that they are quite forthcoming in talking about India, in giving information, in even discussing dispassionately about what is happening. I think all throughout you must have heard Hindi film songs. In this town of Kabul, I believe there are 6 cinema theatres. Almost all of them are running Hindi films. Any restaurant you go, there are Hindi film songs. And one of their most popular singer, I believe, is no more. I think Ahmad Zahir, if I'm not wrong. And Ahmad Zahir, I find, has sung songs based on a whole range of Indian singers, from Pankaj Malik to Mohammad Rafi and Kishore Kumar. I find reflections of Hindi film songs from the 40s, 50s, 60s and 70s, 40 years in Ahmad Zahir's songs and whatever others. I mean, these songs get reflected that music is so akin that they find it very attractive.
In literature, Ghalib and Iqbal are the most quoted names amongst academics and intellectuals. Aziz Mahjoor is a great Sufi in contemporary Afghanistan. He lives a life of an ascetic in a secluded home in the suburbs of Kabul and enjoys his cup of kahwa listening to Qawwali songs by professionals in Pashto and Persian.
Art and culture form the very foundations of a linkage between two peoples and two countries, and it is of the utmost importance and significance that in these areas too we now start paying attention. We have made a beginning. You've mentioned the Kabul University. I'm happy to tell you that we made a contribution through the supply of music instruments, sitars, sarods, tanpuras, sarangis, tablas, etc., to the Department of Music of the University of Kabul. There was a little function where we handed over these instruments that had come from India to the university authorities, and at that function the Minister of Higher Education was present, and he himself remarked that much more should be done in promoting interaction in these fields. Apart from music, there's been a tradition of poetry, there's been a tradition of fine arts, and as we proceed with our program of interaction, we propose to move ahead in these directions. There was a time when the embassy had an important Indian cultural center which was attached to the embassy, and there were Afghan students learning music and moving in other directions. We propose to revive all that and move ahead in these directions. Of course, films is an important part of this interaction too, and Indian movies are popular in Afghanistan, and that's an important linkage.
Repeated foreign interventions and internal dissensions and 6 years of oppressive Taliban rule have not weakened the literary and social ethos in Afghanistan. The University of Kabul has withstood these onslaughts with equanimity. Its president, Professor Akbar Popal's special interest is of India's scientific and literary achievements. He fondly talks of the advance of information technology while he was in Bangalore and looks forward to closer collaboration between his university and the institutions of higher learning in Bangalore.
I would love to have a relation and contract with some universities in India, especially if it is possible, which I have visited that almost 10 years ago, Agriculture University of Bangalore. Yes, they have not a faculty of agriculture, but the Agricultural University of Bangalore. It's a university with different faculty like forestry, agronomy, plant protections, horticulture, and others. And that will help the agriculture development in Afghanistan very, very much. Yes.
The University of Kabul rightly prides itself in the work being done in the Faculty of Fine Arts. In the post-Taliban phase, India unhesitatingly came forward to assist the Afghan rehabilitation. It supplied furniture comprising 20,000 chairs and desks for Afghani schools. Afghan Education Minister Muhammad Yunus Kanuni fondly remembers his 5-year stay in India and is hopeful of the Indo-Afghan ties growing from strength to strength.
خوشبختانه اخیراً ما شاهد تسلیم گیری 20,000 میز چوکی برای شاگردای معارف افغانستان بودیم و با ملاقاتی را که با آقای کارجو سفیر کبیر محترم کشور دوست در کابل داشتیم، اونا وعده سپردن که 20,000 دیگه هم میز چوکی برای معارف افغانستان در حالت تهیه و تدارک هست.
The Habibia High School in Kabul, established in 1903, suffered heavy damage during the years of turmoil and turbulence. Its deputy principal generously acknowledges the help India has been extending in rebuilding the institution, a battered, bullet-ridden school building, yet imparting education to over 11,000 children, including 400 girl students in primary sections. The school also has some 30 women teachers.
از همکاری نیک و برادرانه کشور هند که 100 سال قبل هم این مکتب تحت قومیت کشور دوست هندوستان بود. اولین مدیر این مکتب حافظ احمدالدین خان و استادای این مکتب که چراغ علی خان و برادرای دیگه ما بودن در اینجا انجام خدمت کردند و قبلا هم 1 سال قبل وزیر خارجه کشور هندوستان اینجا تشریف آورده بودند و چند قبل هم 4 نفر از انجینرهای هند به خاطر بازسازی مکتب اینجا آمده بودند و فعلا هم از طرف کشور دوست هندوستان کار بازسازی مکتب ادامه داره.
A large number of Tata buses supplied by India are plying on Kabul's roads. 3 aircraft have arrived in the country as part of assistance from the Indian government.
Not being immediate neighbors puts some kind of geographical barrier, but I think a lot is being done in the form of sending things through Iran. There's a lot of trade taking place. India has been able to send wheat to Afghanistan at a very crucial time, and it was very sorely needed. The Ariana Airlines had virtually gone defunct during Taliban times. It is planes loaned from India that are flying Ariana today, under the banner of Ariana today. India has trained teachers, diplomats, doctors. I think even there has been, among security forces also, there has been a lot of cooperation. There is a Center of Strategic Studies that has been being established, and at some stage I suppose India would have something to do with it.
There is a welcome sign of awakening among women. They have started their own radio network with the help of UNESCO. The all-female institution named Aina runs a 3-hour program for Afghan women and plans to expand further.
दूसरी ममालिक से ये हिंदुस्तान हमारा ज़्यादा भी दोस्ती कायम है और हमारा पुरानी भी दोस्ती है ना, इसके लिए अगर उनका हमको मदद की ये बहुत अच्छी बात है ना। इसके लिए कि हम अभी ये नहीं कहती कि हम किसी चीज़ की ज़रूरत नहीं है, हम ये कहती हैं ना कि हमारे मुल्क अभी भी बहुत अरसे से जंग हो ना, इसके लिए हम अभी सब चीज़ के लिए ज़रूरत है।
The women are doubtlessly playing their role in the reconstruction of their country and are seen working in different walks of life, keeping to Islamic dress code with headscarves on. Big power intrigues and internal strife have taken their toll in social and cultural spheres, apart from political depredation. There were 35,000 Hindu and Sikh families living in peace in Afghanistan. They built temples and gurudwaras enjoying full religious freedom, standing side by side with mosques. Foreign interventions and the coming of Mujahideen and the Taliban led to their exodus to India, leaving only 4,000 families behind.
हमारी यहाँ तादाद हिंदू की और सिखों की भाइयों की 3,000-3,500 तक है, सब काबुल अफ़गानिस्तान में, पूरे अफ़गानिस्तान में। ये सब छोटा मोटा बिज़नेस करते हैं, कुछ काम करता है, किसी के पास कारीगर है, किसी की अपनी शॉप है, कोई बिज़नेस करता है, तरह तरह के काम करते हैं। बड़े बिज़नेस वाले जो थे वो सब चले गए हैं। अब हालात ज़रा ठीक हो गई है, वो लोग चाहते हैं कि वापस आए, अपना बिज़नेस काम काज शुरू करें।
गवर्नमेंट ने काफ़ी मदद किया है अफगान गवर्नमेंट के साथ, और हम उम्मीद रखते हैं कि और भी मदद करेगी। और जो हमारे धार्मिक मंदिर या गुरुद्वारे गिराए गए हैं, ख़राब हुए हैं, हमें ये भी उम्मीद है कि इंडिया गवर्नमेंट हमारे साथ मदद करेगी ताकि हम लोग उनको दोबारा बनाएं। हिंदू सिख मिलकर इधर 300-400 फैमिली है, पहले तो 35-40 हज़ार फैमिली थी सारे अफ़गानिस्तान में, अभी 1000-1500 फैमिली है सारे अफ़गानिस्तान में, तो ऐसा ऐसा आ रहे हैं।
This is one of the oldest parts of Kabul known as Hindu Guzar, which now lies in a shambles as witness to the devastation caused by warlords, the Mujahideen and the Taliban. Many of the families who had left Afghanistan are now coming back. Afghanistan is their home. They speak Pashto and Dari fluently. The bitter memories of the past have in no way dimmed their love for their homeland. They opened their own schools and are presently busy in rebuilding anew. Yet, they do recall the harrowing times under the terror let loose by the Taliban and other extremist elements, disturbing their lifestyle, at times even prescribing a particular type of worship for them in complete distortion of Islamic teachings.
मैं तो 10 साल की थी जो मैंने पढ़ाई बच्चों के साथ शुरू किया, लेकिन मैं खुद ही 6 साल की थी जो मैं खुद ही पढ़ती थी इस स्कूल में। 10 साल तक मैं खुद ही पढ़ी गई, फिर 10 साल के बाद मैंने बच्चों को पढ़ाना शुरू किया। ऐसा तो 4 मैडम फ़ारसी की हैं, वो सुबह आते हैं 8 बजे 10 बजे तक, फिर 10 बजे वो लोग चले जाते हैं, 10 बजे फिर मैं खुद ही पढ़ाती हूँ 11:30 बजे तक, 1 बजे फिर आते हैं, फिर 4 बजे तक फिर पढ़ाते हैं, 4 से 5 इंग्लिश मैडम जो हमने खुद ही लिए वो पढ़ाते हैं। सब बच्चे तो 120 बच्चे हैं।
हिंदुस्तान गई थी कभी?
नहीं, मैं छोटी गई थी, लेकिन अभी मुझे कुछ याद नहीं।
लेकिन आपको ज़बान तो आती है हिंदुस्तान?
क्योंकि ऐसे ज़्यादातर लोग आते हैं और हम लोग के हिंदी फिल्म में देखते हैं, उसमें हिंदी याद लिया हम लोग ने। हिंदुस्तान से तो अभी तक 10 बच्चे आए हैं इंडिया से, फिर अभी आए हैं, लेकिन उन लोगों को पंजाबी नहीं आती, फ़ारसी भी नहीं आती और पंजाबी। इंग्लिश आती है लेकिन थोड़ी सी पढ़े हैं और यहीं पे पढ़ते हैं, और अभी उन लोगों को पंजाबी नहीं। और 10 बच्चे हिंदुस्तान से आए हैं, उन लोगों के साथ अभी पढ़ाई शुरू की है जब तक वो पढ़े जाएं, लेकिन यही आसे पासे घर हैं इन लोगों के, दूर नहीं। इंडिया से लोग आते जाते हैं अपने घर बेच के। मेरे पापा तो यहाँ पे शागिर्द हैं मुसलमानों के साथ, मुस्लिमों के साथ, और मेरी अम्मी कुछ काम नहीं करती, घर पे नहीं। हम लोग तो ऐसे बाहर नहीं जाते, जब देखें तो घर पे पापा अगर फिल्म लेकर आए। पहले तो तालिबान के वक्त पे हम लोग तो फिल्म भी नहीं देख सकते थे, हाँ, लेकिन अभी तो देख सकते हैं। हाँ, अभी आज़ादी है।